Good morning, everyone. I'm Queenie Reman from the sales team of Federland Incorporated. I would like to welcome everyone to this webinar of Federland, where we will learn about the Cebu tourism and business condition from our special guests, Ms. Alice Cablatin, Head of the Cebu Association of Tour Operators, and Ms. Lara Scaro, Head of Sales and Marketing of Marco Polo Plaza, Cebu. Thank you, Ms. Cablatin and Ms. Scaro, for joining us today. This afternoon, we are honored to have with us a respected leader and pioneer in Marco Polo Plaza Cebu's Head of Sales and Marketing, Ms. Lara Constantino Scaro. Ms. Lara has been with the Marco Polo Plaza Cebu family for 12 years and with an extensive work experience in the tourism and hotel industry here and abroad. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome Ms. Lara Constantino Scaro.
Thank you very much, Queenie, for that introduction. And good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for choosing to spend this time with us. And thank you very much to Federland for this opportunity to tell you more about the Marco Polo here in Cebu. We're happy to share with you that the hotel has actually stayed open since the beginning of the pandemic, and we've maintained our role in the community as a home away from home, respite, and a milestone celebration venue as soon as we were allowed to accept small events, and serving up comfort food, which we're doing up until today. And we also know that as a customer, you have a choice, whether you're traveling for business or for leisure. You can choose where to go, what to do, and where to stay. And I'm taking a few minutes of your time today to tell you that if you are coming to Cebu, choosing to stay at the Marco Polo Cebu is as easy as ABC. And we say ABC because A is for altitude. The hotel is located 1,000 feet above sea level, which gives guests the extra benefit of great views. And when I say great views, you get to see the sunset, the sunrise, the mountain, and the ocean, cooler temperature, fresh air, and yet, even if we are on the hill, the hotel is only 10 to 15 minutes away from the business district, the city center, and the malls and everything else that we enjoy in the city. And as a side note, we have newly renovated rooms, which we call the premier rooms. So if you're able to come and visit, we hope you choose to stay in one of our premier rooms. So that's A for altitude. And B is for Busay, because Cebu is more than just the beach. Nivel Hills, where the hotel is part of Busay Mountain. And over the years, the area has slowly developed into a tourist destination. There are cafes and restaurants along the road, and 10 to 15 minutes away from the hotel, there are flower farms, the Temple of Leia, strawberry farms, lemon orchard, trekking places, zipline adventure, and recently a nature camp has opened, giving families the opportunity to do camping. And if you don't want to rough it out for camping, they also offer the experience for glamping. So this is one of the many new things one can do here in Cebu. So that's B. And C is for cravings. Everyone has cravings, especially when we're traveling. And Marco Polo is known for its good food. Our Cafe Marco has won awards as having been the best buffet in town, and some of our food offerings has received recognition as well. In this one slide, I'm introducing to you our signature 6, starting with the Silk Road coffee, which is our take of mocha coffee. And for those of you who, even if you're not from Cebu, you may have already tried our malicious chocolate chip cookie, the ensaymada, and the mango cheesecake. And these three desserts have won Best Desserts Award. our the ultimate adobo, which is a favorite, is also popular here, and of course our iced tea, so which has mango. We call mango iced tea because you're in Cebu. If you're in Cebu, we have mangoes, and so these are just some of the many things many food choices that you can enjoy when you're staying at the Marco Polo. So it's really as simple as ABC. A for altitude, fresh air, great views from our premier rooms. Busay for the adventure and for the Instagrammable tourist spots. And C for cravings, because we all want good food when we're away from home. So right now we know that travel is limited, but we want to assure you that our ABCs are here to stay, where it will be waiting and will be ready for you when you are here and able to visit. Please follow us in our social media accounts. I've had that in the slide, in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and others. And we'll be happy to engage and connect with you. Just message us if you want to book an event, your room, a meeting, or if you want more information about the hotel and Cebu. And here for my last slide, I'm showing you two of our current offers. One is our Staycay All the Way, which is available throughout the year. So, this is something you can consider for future months within the year. And it includes breakfast for two. It's quite a great deal. And we also have Dine and Dip. In case you have friends who want to come over, spend time with you, this is something that they can avail of even if they're not staying in-house with us. So no need to memorize these offers. When you contact us in any of our social media platforms, we'll be happy to share with you our current offers. So for now, we wish you good health, and we look forward really to being part of your travel plans as soon as you're able to plan that out. And once again, thank you for this time, and thank you, Federland, for this opportunity to introduce the Marco Polo here in Cebu. Thank you. And right now, we move on to the next speaker. It is my privilege to introduce to you our dear Miss Alice Kiblatin, who will tell us more about other things to do and see here in Cebu. Miss Alice is the president of the Cebu Alliance of Tour Operations Specialists, or CATOS, and she's been the president from 2016 up to now. She has served as a board member and vice president for Visayas of the Tourism Congress Philippines, and she is the managing director of Southwind Travel and Tours. We've worked with her for many events and international meetings. We're very grateful for our partnership with her. And just some trivia to make the introduction exciting. We asked her, where does she go to relax and unwind? And so apparently Miss Alice goes to Tambuli there in Mactan, and she goes to Jazz and Blues Music Lounge. And I also asked her that if she had a first-time visitor in Cebu, what are the top 3 places that she will bring them to? And she said, number 1, Busay Hills and beyond, where the hotel is located. She also wants to take you on a drive to the southern coast of Cebu, including the beautiful Sumeelan Island and the Cebu Safari Wildlife Park, which is one of Cebu's new products. So ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Miss Alice Kiblatin. Thanks, Miss Alice.
Thank you very much, Lara. And thank you very much, really, for inviting me this afternoon. Thank you to Federland and to Marco Polo. It's really a pleasure to continue our love story with the island of Cebu. Before I start with, giving some ideas as to how to enjoy Cebu, you've seen already the video, and that will really save a lot of time from my discussion. I would like to start with some very interesting facts about travel today. In a survey on the travel market, 75% said that they want to learn, listen, and hear more of travel destinations, even if they are still not able to travel. So the interest of travel is really there. And 80% said that they have their willingness to travel is not only for their own personal advantage, but having seen what it means under this lockdown and under the restrictions of mobility and the economy, how much it has lost. They would like that through their travel, they're able to touch the community and help the local economy. So these are very positive comments that will show us the general outlook on how travel and tourism will eventually and actually recover. People are reading about travel, people are interested in travel, people are listening and studying how and where they'd like to go and how they enjoy them. And people are also getting the consciousness that this travel will not only make me happy, but it will revitalize the economy that we need very much. First slide, please. Travel today is actually a balance of safety, risk, and the desire to have fun. Safety because of the pandemic, we only want to travel to a safe destination or a destination that we perceive to be really safe. And even the manner of going there has to be safe. Risk because of the uncertainty of the times. Sometimes the situation changes on a daily basis. Nobody wants to be caught in the middle of something really very risky. So we are looking for ways and means to lessen the risk of traveling. And happily, there is already the rollout of the vaccine, and people have been catching up on the unified contact tracing application, the StaySafe.Philippines, and all the tourism establishments, hotels, restaurants, travel and tour agencies are already adopting the unified protocol that will give the message that the Philippines is really ready for safe travel. And definitely the desire to have fun. Why do we travel after the long months of being locked down and just staying at home? We want to be relieved of our stress. And so we must have fun, meanwhile thinking of safety and minimizing the risk. Okay, and happily, while international travel is expected to come back late 2023 or maybe 2024 to the pre-COVID, hopefully to the pre-COVID level, we can capitalize today on the local and domestic travel and who come back with new preferences and new habits. Next slide, please. The traveler today have shown new preferences, new habits, and new expectations. They do want active holidays, understandable, being locked at home. They want open spaces, outdoor activities with a focus on health and well-being. And this is something very important for us in the travel industry to understand. It is not just enough to go out, but we have to focus on health and well-being. In fact, this direction is moving towards wellness tourism, which is going to be very popular in the next few years. Farm tourism is coming up strong because these are the types of tourism that will give you the feeling well, the feeling of goodness. Now, not only are people willing to go out, but they are also giving more purpose and meaning. They expect more purpose and they want to give meaning to their travel. They want to help in the recovery of the community. That's why there is also more demand now for interactive activities with the people of the community. In fact, most of our best-selling products are tour products which are being operated by communities, and I will show you some later on. So the interaction that our money is bringing something to the grassroots is making our travel more purposeful, because the lockdown has really made us appreciate life, made us appreciate relationships and the goodness of people, and we want to carry it on. And I think it is going to show in our choice of destination and in our choice of activities. And of course, people are traveling either solo, small families, like 5 in a group, multi-generation. The biggest, more or less, inquiry that we have had, although we have not yet conducted it yet because leisure travel is not yet acceptable, not yet operating, is a group of 5, a family, multi-generation of about 6 to 7 people. So like we expect, for example, the hotels to give us family packages, family rates of, let's say, like a family of 7. And then if you have a good package for that one, these are the kind of inquiries that we're getting because they now travel either family, solo, or multi-generation. An additional new preferences is coming from the business sector. They're now looking at what we call bleisure, which is a combination of business and leisure. I mean, the professionals, because of the work from home situation that we are in right now, and for the past months, professional businessmen would rather can work very well in outside of the office environment. And that would mean maybe an additional 2 extra days to also enjoy while they're doing business. This will also put more emphasis on the adjustment of the hotels in terms of faster internet and redesigning the room to give maybe more comfortable space to do business when they do video conferencing, or maybe they would entertain 1 or 2 people, in the room. So then the room has to be redesigned to make it more comfortable for work. Okay. Actually, the traveler wants to stay close to home, but yet they want to have the getaway feeling. Now, luckily, Cebu, next slide, please. Fortunately, Cebu has it all: sea, climate, and the charm of city and country. We have the facilities and the amenities of an urban city, a cosmopolitan city with an airport that is, if not the best in the country. I mean, all of this, and we are right. We are a very good transportation hub for land, air, and sea. And city, but in 15 minutes or in 30 minutes, you are at the beach. In 15 or 20 minutes, like if you start from Marco Polo, you're in the middle of the hillside. So it has both the charm of country, the appeal of country, but the facilities of city. For energy of life, Cebu has a very young relatively a young population, and these are energized people. Well, we have a lot of entrepreneurs because they do Cebu is powered with a small, medium enterprises. So you can really see the movement, the vibrancy in Cebu because of its young population. It has the energy for all of it. B for the bounty. You have got the water. We are surrounded by seas. Our water activities are rich. Diving is rich. Our and marine sanctuaries are so rich. And then, as I've said, you have got the hillsides. We may not see mountains or volcanoes around, but we've got the beautiful hillsides, the ridge from the north to the south of the whole island of Cebu. You can, you can see it from above, from an airplane, but you can travel it by going on a round south trip or a round north trip. And it has really a rich bounty to offer you a variety of activities, from diving to canyoneering to a lot more. And because of its unique mix of attractions. We have attractions that will go for the businessman, attractions for the sportsman, attractions for lady spouses, women tours, attractions for the young, and also attractions for the elderly but active lifestyle. So Cebu is very proud. In 2011, we were awarded the City of Culture, the ASEAN City of Culture title. But this year, we are awarded the UNESCO, and we have been given the title of the UNESCO City of Design. And this has given rise to the new creative industry. And this will power more activities and the new direction of business in Cebu, the creative industry. So in short, Cebu is really the melting pot of food, culture, arts, and island life. That's why Cebu has it all. Now let me show you, next slide please, a few samples. Cebu is really the island for all seasons. The next slide, please. Let me show you some samples of, the new, these are not really new products, but these are new approaches to the old favorites to adapt to the new preferences. We have, instead of a city tour, we have what we call Instagrammable Cebu. And we still visit our historical spots. They're always there. They form part of the story. But this time we move away from that. And as Lara was said, we now move uphill for the demand and the preference of the outdoor and the open spaces. And when you're uphill, you take the best photos. So that's why we do Instagrammable Cebu. We go and visit the Sirao Flower Garden, where you've got the caring hands. It's a very popular icon where people take their selfies, wedding pictures there. And we also visit the Temple of Leia, which some people call the Taj Mahal of Cebu. It was built in 2012 and as a symbol of a devoted love from a devoted husband to his wife who left him. And by honoring the collections that she really loved, that she gathered in all her travels. It's not a mausoleum. It has a Greek and a Roman architecture. That's why people love to take selfies, photographs there. But inside you will find the collection of the things that Leia, the wife, really loved. Then we also have La Vie in the Sky, which is a charming restaurant that serves French dining and wining. And a steep road in Busay leads you to the top, to the mountain top, and you will find this very enchanting restaurant. And every inch inside and outside of the restaurant is good for an Instagrammable photo. Okay, next slide, please. We also have mountain food parks. People, and every weekend, this is the busiest road going up to Busay Hills, where you find all sorts of different quaint cafes along the Trans Central Highway. The first one that in that area, it goes beyond to Balamban, is the West 35 Eco Mountain Cafe. And it served at that time when maybe organic food was not yet in demand. It was already serving food from its gardens. So it was one of the early restaurants that served farm to table type of menu. And today it has accommodation, so you get stunning view in this Eco Mountain Cafe. Then you have Charlie's Cup. It is one of the newest destinations along the Trans Central Highway. What makes this really different is it's pet friendly. That means you can bring your pets. It's child friendly. There are areas for the children. But the architecture alone, it's modern, but it gives you the feeling of openness and it blends well with nature. Metal, wood, and glass. Okay, then you have the Lake View Le Jardin, which is really the newest addition to the garden, dining in the gardens. And it has also been very attractive to the Cebuanos lately. So mountain food parks, and there are many more along the Trans Central Highway, is one way of adapting to the new preferences. Then we've got, next slide please, the Gardens and Blooms. Yesterday, the Cebu City Tourism Commission launched the Highland Gardens and Blooms and Ecotourism Tour. And these are some of the beautiful gardens, aside from the ones we mentioned, that are added to the tour. We have the Buwaka ni Alejandra, and outstanding in this garden would be the collection, which is the plants are being terraced according to color, and it looks really very colorful, like that of a rainbow. Then we have the Terrazas De Flores. It is the first terraced botanical garden that came out along the highway. And it has also a beautiful story where the father had, made this as a bonding facility, as a bonding activity with his children. He would open this terrace, this area, and then he's together with his children who are students of a university with the students of the botanical department of a university. They would plant local flowers, and this is where you can find also beautiful local flowers. Then you have, of course, the Sirao Garden, which we have mentioned, and the Blooms and Gardens of Jaime Chua. This is an orchid collection of one of the biggest orchid collectors in the country. So if you want to see orchids and a beautiful lotus pond, this is where you go. And one thing that we like to do in Jaime's Blooms and Gardens is to learn how to take care of orchids. So when you buy orchids, you can also have a little demo on how to take care of orchids. So this would be very good tours, or very good trips for the plantitos and the plantitas, which are very, very popular nowadays all over the country. Next slide, please. And then we have the Adlawan farm experience. Adlawan is the first farm staycation destination in the island of Cebu. And you breathe fresh air there, and you have a full day of activities, farm activities. You can feed the farm animals, you can do a farm tour, you can even take a carabao ride, you can go harvest in the vegetable garden and have it cooked for your lunch, for your meal. You can have photos taken in every nook of the garden. You can also have, what do you call these, interactive do-it-yourself and a learning type of activity, like how to make the puso, which is very famous, the hanging rice, a very famous way of serving rice in Cebu. How to harvest coconut wine, you can see it there, and how to drink it. So there are many things that you can do in a farm. And then in the evening, you watch the sunset, take a very good dinner outside under the stars. And in the morning, wake up to the chirping of the birds and to the sunrise. And you will really have a very beautiful farm experience. And so this is one of our best-selling weekend getaways. Okay, next slide, please. Then you can also take country road trips. As I've said, Cebu is both city and country. Next slide. Country road trips would highlight visit to coastal towns and then interacting and learning of their traditional lifestyle. Argao is very famous. It's 60 kilometers away, an hour and a half away along. It's a coastal drive. Then it's also very famous for its heritage tour, a visit to St. Michael the Archangel Parish. And what is outstanding in this church today is outside of Manila, it has the only bamboo organ, restored bamboo organ that is also used in special occasions in the church. So people come also during the fiesta. It is a very old church, and around it is what we call the cabecera. Cabecera, which is actually in Spanish means town central, or the town, the heart of the town. Now, after doing the visit to old houses and to the cabecera and to the church, we go on the 3 T's food trip in Argao. That means we see a demo on how torta is made. It's a very famous delicacy in Cebu. You see how it's made. The tablea, which is a chocolate drink. The Cebuanos are more of chocolate drinkers rather than coffee drinkers. But of course, with the birth of the coffee culture, now the young ones are coffee drinkers, but we still go back to our tablea, which is our heritage chocolate. And the tuba, which is what we call the coconut wine, or I think jabalina is the stronger type of tuba. You see a demonstration of all of these in your tour, and we end up with a demonstration of what we call the Hablon Weaving, which is a type of weaving done in different communities, by the women communities in Argao. That is a full day trip, which includes your lunch, and you will never really go home empty-handed. You will be carrying a pack of the torta, you'll be carrying a box of tablea, and maybe a bottle of the tuba, which we call tuba. And then the hablon, I'm sure you'd love a scarf, which is being done in the traditional weaving and by the women communities. That's one interactive country trip that is also very appealing to small families, to the women among the domestic and the locals. Next slide. Another one that's also catching up, but this is not really a new product, but this is very famous because it has won awards for Cebu and for the community. So Argao is a community tour. It is being run by the community itself. The guides in Argao are the local community guides. What we pay, for example, in all our trips there goes back to the communities who meet us, the tablea makers, the torta makers. Exactly what's also happening in the Boho River, river cruise and the Aluginsan Eco Tour. Aluginsan is about an hour, almost 2 hours away. If Argao goes south, this one goes southwest. So you take a coastal and a drive across the hillside from the south to the north, from the south to the west, and then you end up in Aluginsan, which is a beautiful, quaint town. But what is it famous for? It's famous for its river, which they call Boho. So they have come up with a community-based tour, which is the Boho River Cruise. You go on a paddle canoe, like what you see there, and you have a fisherman or the son or the wife of the fisherman as your guide, who will narrate to you the legends and the different species of these mangroves that you see alongside the river, and the legends. Oh, they're so beautiful. And in the quiet, because it's not a pump boat, it's a paddle boat. In the quiet, then you really feel the rejuvenating effect of the river. Then you end up at the mouth of the river facing the Tanyon Strait, and you have there a very beautiful marine sanctuary. You do snorkeling, you can do diving. And when you get back, you take your lunch, which is cooked and made by the wives of the fishermen, the children of the fishermen. It's a very refreshing, native, home-cooked meal. And then after the meal, you visit the heritage parts of the town. So that is also becoming a very, a much appreciated tour in one of our country road trips. Okay, next slide, please. Then, of course, Cebu has adventure highlights. You've seen the video on the canyoneering and the diving and the whale shark. Like, for example, let's move on to the next slide. Island hopping is very famous. And what we do now is we focus on the marine sanctuaries. So before, we really used to hop on one island to the other, but now we are concentrating on how to enjoy really the island hopping best, which is going down, snorkeling, and seeing the marine sanctuaries. So we have a marine sanctuary in Nalusuan, which is a restaurant by itself. We can have our lunch there. And also the other marine sanctuary is in San Vicente, where you have the you have the Olango bird sanctuary also. So you've got the marine sanctuary and the bird sanctuary, all on these island hopping trips. Okay, next slide, please. We also can do the Oslob whale shark watching and the Sumeelan Sandbar trip. You've heard about our whale sharks, okay? They're very friendly. So you can enjoy a paddle boat ride, feed them. The fishermen feed them. That's why they move around us. You can swim around them. And then at the end, you can enjoy your sunbathing and swimming in the Sumeelan Sandbar. That's also a very popular tour. Okay, next slide. You have the canyoneering adventure highlight. You have the Kawasan Waterfalls, people jumping. It's really a combination of jumping, trekking, hiking, swimming, all of that rolled into one. But everybody says that you end up in Kawasan and enjoy the splash from the waterfalls, and you really have a very invigorating, a tour after a long trip from the city. Next slide, please. Then you also can move on further on to Moalboal. And in Moalboal, most famous would be the Sardine Run Tour, which combines swimming with millions of sardines, and away from it, you can also swim, take the pump boat all the way to the Turtle Point, and then onwards to the Pescador Island, where you have another beautiful marine sanctuary around there. So all of these are water activities in the coastal towns of Oslob, down all the way to Boal. And then, next slide, please. Then we have the Cebu Safari Adventure and Wildlife Park, one of my favorites. This is really the newest attraction in Cebu, and this is north. This is a beautiful and it's the only one of its type in the country. It's a pioneer safari park, the only one of its kind in the Philippines. It is really a mountain park. It sits on a very big area, hectares and hectares of land, and you have there animals from tigers to African savanna, from cats to apes, and then the flora collection of the owner, the orchid collection, the gardens of the world, that really makes a full day tour. And it caters also to adventure seekers. So you have the longest and the highest zip line in the country. Longest because it runs for 1.3 kilometers long, and highest because it is situated 671 meters high above sea level. So it's considered one of the most thrilling adventure activities in the Cebu Safari, and now it's an adventure and wildlife park. So you can see all of that. And then we have an exciting bird show twice a day, and then you have a sky bike, and you have an ATV that will bring you over the mountainous terrain of the safari. And this is a full one-day tour, and never miss it because you don't have this anywhere in the country. Okay, next slide, please. And then we also have, as I've said recently, yesterday, we inaugurated our Highlands and Blooms and Eco Tours, which will also include our Chasing Waterfalls and Eco Tours. This is just in Busay, about 30 minutes away from Marco Polo. Then we can visit the waterfalls and then the river, where the falls go to. Of course, you do a lot of hiking, but that's exactly what people would like nowadays, active lifestyle, okay? Next slide, please. Then we don't forget the wellness package. As I've said, people are now, even if they do want to travel and move out, they always have their well-being and health and well-being in mind. There's a move towards wellness tourism, and this is what we are all preparing for, so that when we really fully open, we will already be offering complete wellness packages. Right now, just right up in Busay, you have the Soul Shera, which offers some wellness activities. And Bandayan Island, Sumeelan Island, and all the other big resorts in Mactan, they all have spas and they all have wellness packages. Cebu is very proud to offer this to all. Next slide, please. So there you are. Diving is, of course, we should not forget that. Famous destination for diving is always Malapascua, which is on the north. It's famous because the diving among the thresher sharks is really what makes Malapascua famous. And Moalboal, as I've mentioned, because of the Sardine Run, the Pescador Island, and the Turtle Point, and all other areas there in Moalboal and Bandayan. These are the best diving spots in Cebu. So a mix of that. Next slide, please. So there you are. Cebu, from ridge to reef, is ready. We're always ready when you are. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lara and Ms. Alice, for the insights provided on the Cebu business scene. We're sure that our audience learned a lot from you today. We hope you can stay with us to address any questions that our guests may have about your presentation. To our guests, please send your questions now for Ms. Alice and Ms. Lara via our chat box so that we can answer them. We now have questions for both of you. What are the unique offerings of Cebu that will make one decide to live and invest there? Do you foresee Metro Manila residents moving there? Ms. Lara and Ms. Alice?
Okay, I mean, Lara and I have mentioned that, all the different beautiful spots that we have, but really the reasons why people really would like to, live and invest here are, aside from the CEBU that I presented is number one would really be the geographical location. You know, we are really right smack in the center of the country, and we are a very good transportation hub. Connectivity with the different islands would be very easy in Cebu. And then we have also the facilities of a city. It may be, we're not as big as Manila, but anything that Manila can offer, we can also offer it here. The people are, well, maybe as I've said, I don't want to say more friendly, but they always say that the Cebuanos are warmer. So I would just like to say that. Cebu is in the center of the Philippines. Cebu is one of the warmest cities in the country. And so the people are also warmer. So we have that. We have that feeling of living in a city, but still dealing with each other, you know, like we are country people. And of course, there are many new industries that are coming up, and housing, education, they're very easily available in Cebu. I can see that many people from Manila have already started coming here. And so I'm sure that they will continue to do that.
How about you, Ms. Lara? Do you have any insights?
Yeah, Miss Alice had said it all, and I just want to add that if you live in Cebu, it's somehow easier to achieve that work-life balance, because where you work and all the recreation and leisure spots are not far from each other. And it's also true that Cebu is now a melting pot of so many people coming from different parts of the country, as well as expats. So it has that it has that vibe in both the business and the social scene. So yeah, I won't blame anyone who wants to live here in Cebu.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We have a second question for the both of you. Do you think that there is still a chance for Cebu to bank on its loyal customer base of Korea and Japanese national, despite current travel restrictions, and how?
Well, actually, yes, I would say so. You know, if we want to refresh ourselves, in 2019, Korea was our top market, was our top tourist market. Now, we had an arrival of about 1.6 million Koreans in 2019. Second market was Japan of around 600,000. Third market was China of around 400,000. Now, sadly, in 2020, just to see the parameters of the impact of this COVID on the tourism industry, on our top markets, in 2020, Korea went down to about 169 as against the 1.5 million. And then Japan, of course, just about 91,000, and China about 52,000. So, and even today, even alone, if I look at my, even if I look at the membership of KATOS, which is composed of English and Korean and Japanese tour operators, the Koreans have gone home, and the Japanese, some of them, you know, the Japanese managers went home, but then the Filipino managers of the Japanese companies are still here. But they are not yet talking of any recovery yet, because our borders has not opened to leisure tourism. But they are always talking about in 2022, 2023, they're getting ready on what kind of, you know, the kind of packages. They are now trying to tweak the packages that they have to offer. So they're always looking forward. And I believe that they will come back, because they are looking for the beach, and we have it. They want good food, and we have it, you know. You look for a Koreatown, we have it. You look for a Chinatown, we have it, you know. Any type of cuisine, Cebu has it. So the legacy, the traditional food, which the Koreans and the Japanese and the Chinese have learned to love, we have it. It's still there. And they like the lifestyle, you know, the freewheeling lifestyle, because we are getting, you know, Koreans, the young Koreans, and also the young Japanese. So I still believe we're going to get them as soon as the borders really open. we will be having them. So we're looking forward to hopefully start 2023 or late 2022, hopefully not too late, okay? But I believe we will get them back.
Do you have anything to add, Ms. Lara? Thank you, Ms. Alice. Ms. Lara, I think your microphone is.
Yes, I mean, you know, we are not the only country right now with all these restrictions, and these restrictions are not permanent. And I believe that as government and the private sector is cascading vaccinations, each vaccination brings us closer to a more open border. So I am confident. And yes, it will probably be late 2022, 2023. But from our presentations, Cebu is ready. And actually, the pandemic has given us time to develop all of these products, tweak it better, it has given the environment a time to rest and breathe. And we can't wait for the next wave of tourism and tourists.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Lara. And last, we have one last question. Are the hotels accepting guests at full capacity? What are the requirements for non-residents to book travel there? Ms. Alice?
Lara, I think you can answer about the hotels.
Well, the hotels for MGCQ, we are allowed to book to capacity. In terms of the requirements, it does change. Ms. Alice and I would recommend that you still check the airport's website or the destination website. Right now, the focus is of returning Filipinos and OFWs who need to get their test on the 7th, on the 3rd. They get the swab, stay in a hotel for 3 days, and if they live in the province of Cebu, then they can go back. They can go home. And then there's also that if you are from abroad, I think it's you get your test on the 7th day, and then stay and quarantine for 10. So we did say earlier that the travel is still limited. Right now, it is still us here in Cebu enjoying what Cebu has to offer. But we know, again, as the people are getting vaccinated and we're controlling the number of our cases, and we see NCR the cases are going down. So I believe domestic travel, Ms. Alice, should happen this year, end of the year, if all things.
Yes. I mean, we really expect. Actually, we have been getting ready with domestic travel. I mean, we have already made our tour packages. We have already negotiated with the airlines for very good rates from Manila to Cebu and back to Manila. And we were the hotels and the activities, we were really very ready for that, because then the NCR is really the main source of our market if we want to really jumpstart our domestic tourism. But then suddenly the lockdown again came. So, but we have the packages at hand. The moment there will be, news that domestic travel can start again, we are also trying to reconnect via Clark. Instead of going via Manila, we are also reconnecting via Clark. So there's a Cebu Clark flight. So the airlines have given us the same rate that we could get from Cebu Manila Cebu. We also have the same Cebu Manila Clark. So we're still just firming up how the tie-up could be on the land. Like the people, we will not only stay in Clark. It will have to be moving all over Luzon if possible. But we understand it cannot be possible now, but we're really hoping that it will open soon. There is a cap for people arriving in Cebu. Today, there's a cap that has been made. Only for 300 people will be allowed to arrive, because we don't have quarantine rooms for the OFWs. But, I think it will improve, definitely.
I have one more question, last question. Is Cebu ready for Sinulog 2022?
Well, we had a virtual Sinulog in 2021. So that was done virtually. Although the plan was that it will be something like hybrid. There would be one contingent dancing on the street and only one contingent. But when the IATF knew about it, the contingent is quite big, plus all the cameras and so on. So there was no, only virtual was allowed. We are not yet talking about Sinulog 2022, but what Cebu is doing right now in small celebrations, in small group celebrations, is that the celebration of the 500 years quincentennial celebration of Christianization of the Philippines. And so we have certain activities on a monthly basis, and it's all mostly done in Cebu. So that's what we are doing right now. We are not yet talking about the Sinulog. We hope we will.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Lara and Ms. Alice. Again, we wish to thank you for sharing with us your valuable time this afternoon. We appreciate your support to Federland. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now let me tell you why you should invest in the Philippines and why in Philippine real estate. Last year's GDP may have softened a little bit to around 5%, but this year it is expected to return to its previous rate at 6% or even higher, as projected by the IMF, up to 6.6 to 6.9%. For the past 4 years, the average GDP of the Philippines has been at 6% and even higher. And during those times, stronger than our neighboring Asian countries. This is according to the Oxford Economics Haber Analytics report in 2019. In 2019, the Philippines was recognized as the #1 country to invest in real estate according to BusinessInsider.com because of its high annual rental yields, average of 6%, and high demand or occupancy rates, especially for the BGC, Makati, and Macapagal Bay areas. Rental rates due to the pandemic have slightly gone down to 5%, but this year, yields are moving up again to 6% forecasted in Q3 and Q4. At present, you'd be impressed with the highly competitive value of condominium prices in Metro Cebu and the business hubs of Metro Manila, BGC, Ortigas, Makati. The capital value of real estate remains strong, especially in our central business districts, including Cebu City, despite the pandemic situation. Now, the question of most people is, when do we need to invest? The answer is now. Real estate grows at a steady pace regardless of the pandemic situation. Yet, we will still want to know how soon will the Philippine economy and the real estate industry will recover. These are the factors that affect recovery of the real estate industry, according to Lichu Property Consultants and Colliers Philippines. First, the speed of the government's vaccination program. Second, the high-end property segment is least affected financially despite the economic slowdown. Third, high-end properties remain in demand with an 85% take-up in 2020. Fourth, joint venture projects with local and foreign firms help provide innovative facilities and amenities. Fifth, attractive promotions and incentives are offered for projects by developers. Now let me introduce to you our company, Federland Incorporated. Federland is one of the fastest growing real estate developers in the country. Federland holds a legacy of personifying and reshaping the skyline of key cities in the Philippines with iconic structures and world-class developments for over 45 years. Why invest with Federland? One vital reason is its financial stability and its industry track record. Federland is a member of GT Capital Holdings, one of the largest business conglomerates in the country, with a market capitalization of $3.5 billion US. GT Capital Holdings owns market-dominant businesses in the underpenetrated sectors of the economy, in banking, Metrobank, in automotive, Toyota, in property development, Federland Inc., in life and general insurance, AXA, and infrastructure and utilities, Metro Pacific Investments. It also takes pride of having 48 years of experience and expertise in the industry. Second, Federland has a number of prestigious global brand partnerships for its various property developments and reinvents the standards of project planning and development with innovative technology. Federland teamed up with Japanese financial firm Orix Corporation and Grand Hyatt International of Chicago, USA, to introduce Grand Hyatt Manila Residences, the first residential condominium in Southeast Asia carrying the Grand Hyatt brand. The partnership brings to the country not only luxurious residential suites, but also the legendary Grand Hyatt hospitality and service. Grand Hyatt Manila Residences is a two-tower development flanking Grand Hyatt Manila Hotel, which is a part of Federland's master plan township, Grand Central Park in North Bonifacio Global City. Federland has also partnered with two of the biggest names in Japan's prime real estate and retail industries, Nomura Real Estate Development and Isetan Mitsukoshi Holdings Inc., to bring a piece of Japan in Bonifacio Global City in Taguig with the Seasons Residences and the first Mitsukoshi Mall in the Philippines, offering a uniquely Japanese mall-going experience. Nomura Real Estate Development Company Limited is part of the Nomura Group of companies with a history of more than 90 years of investment banking experience. Isetan Mitsukoshi Holdings Limited is a Japan-based holding company mainly engaged in the department store business. They are best known for their Isetan Mitsukoshi department stores, which can be found all over Japan, other parts of Asia, as well as in Europe and in the United States. Federland also partnered with Japan's Orix Corporation for its residential projects in Makati and Ortigas, with the Grand Midori Makati launched in 2007 and the Grand Midori Ortigas in 2019. The Grand Midori Ortigas, located along Exchange Road, is a high-rise development offering prime units imbued with elegant and functional Japanese design and aesthetics. World-renowned Tokyo-based Japanese architectural firm Tange Associates designed the two-tower development. The Grand Midori Ortigas evokes a grand yet refined design and offers Zen-like living in the Ortigas CBD. Federland also partnered with Marco Polo Hotels International for its hotel and branded residences in Cebu, Marco Polo Plaza and Marco Polo Residences. In partnership with SMDC, Federland has collaborated with the world-renowned design firm, Foster and Partners, for its first residential project in the Philippines along Ayala Avenue, adding a jewel in the Makati skyline, the Estate Makati. For over 50 years, British-born Norman Foster of Foster and Partners is a pioneer in modern architecture and has developed a reputation not only for being one of the most prolific architects of his generation, but also incorporating high-tech and green practices in his designs. With Foster and Partners, he and his team have worked on close to 400 projects all over the world, including the Gherkin in London and the HSBC building in Hong Kong. The estate Makati is now considered as the most ultra-luxury residential development in the country. Federland delivers real estate projects that are of world-class standard in design and structural durability. Thus, this partnership with the experts in the industry, we work with international best-of-class brands in construction and architectural design. Fourth, federal land projects have increased in value significantly since launch, particularly in the BGC Taguig and Macapagal Bay Area Pasay, by 130% and 260% respectively. Historically, real estate project values have grown consistently throughout the years and continue to do so, making real estate the best investment option, despite the economic or pandemic situation. In Cebu, Federland's premium residential project, Marco Polo Residences, started at 96,000 pesos per square meter and is now at an average of 160,000 pesos per square meter. Lastly, it offers privacy and exclusivity because of its strategic locations and accessibility to integrate communities that provide convenience to its residents. Federland has an extensive project network with most residential condominium projects strategically located in the central business districts of the country. With 13 active residential projects, Federland takes pride in its business development program, which focuses on building properties in prime locations with high market value growth potential. Today, we will be featuring our premium residential project in Cebu City, Marco Polo Residences. This afternoon, we'll give you an overview of the south and home of Marco Polo Plaza Residences, Cebu City. Cebu City is a smaller and more relaxed version of Manila and is one of the most accessible destinations in the central Visayan region. With direct international flights and local seaports, Cebu is considered to be the most dynamic island in the Philippines, attracting local and international visitors, tourists, and investors. Cebu's economic progress is symbolized by the ongoing 4 mega infrastructure projects that include the Cebu-Cordova Link Expressway that aims to improve the capacity of the existing road network in Cebu and facilitate faster movement of trade, people, and convenience in Metro Cebu. The Metro Cebu Expressway, the Cebu Bus Rapid Transport System, and lastly, the new Cebu International Container Port. Cebu is also a very popular tourist destination for both local and foreign clients. Despite the pandemic situation, Cebu continues to evolve into a strategic growth engine for the entire country, especially with the entry of BPO companies. Residential real estate demand, especially for township projects, and price is projected to increase from 2021 to 2022. Indeed, Cebu is a prime location for investment. Number 1, having a robust economy. 2, it is one of the top outsourcing destinations. And 3rd, with growing infrastructure. Cebu is also a prime location for different lifestyles. It's for families, foreign investors, and for professionals. And of course, this is the home of Marco Polo Residences, the first branded residences in Cebu. Marco Polo Residences got its status as the preferred upscale address in metropolitan Cebu, having been recognized as the best condominium development in Cebu at the 2014 Philippines Property Awards. Marco Polo properties are well-known and established address for business travelers and tourists throughout the Asian region, with a proven reputation for exceptional service and an appreciation for their local identity. The Marco Polo Hotels, a wholly owned subsidiary of the Wharf Holdings Limited, currently operates a total of 18 hotels, owned or managed upscale, full-service hotels throughout Hong Kong, China, and Philippines. Marco Polo Plaza and four-tower Marco Polo residences are situated 600 feet above sea level atop the prestigious Neville Hills district and offers panoramic views of the mountains, sea, sky, and city. The Marco Polo Hotel and residences are conveniently accessible from the Mactan International Airport and is near the best upscale lifestyle centers and shopping malls in the city. Within close proximity of major business hubs, educational institutions, medical facilities, and the city's largest recreational and retail establishments. Marco Polo Residences brings to light the best of Cebu in its first branded residence, where the typical is spectacular, the everyday unusual, and the common breathtaking. Residents will enjoy hotel living like no other with the hotel a la carte services and beyond the usual amenities. Look how impressive the site development plan of Marco Polo is from here. You may see the Marco Polo Plaza Hotel, and adjacent are its 4 residential towers, the residences, 2 residences, Park View, and Ocean View. For those of you with immediate needs, we have ready for occupancy units available for sale under lease to own terms. Pre-selling units are also available at our Ocean View Tower. Marco Polo Residences has a lot of open spaces and gardens that everyone will enjoy. This is just a selection of the myriad amenities available at Marco Polo Residences that you can enjoy. These include the golf simulation room, a putting green, an outdoor fitness station, a wine cellar, and a grill area. Marco Polo Residences, Ocean View Tower has 319 units, a selection of unit types from a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, and 4-bedroom units. And that is our most luxurious residential project in the South, Marco Polo Residences. We hope you enjoyed watching this project presentation. That said, we also offer convenient ways to start on your investment plans with Federland via online channels. Our sales agents would be happy to assist you in every step of the way. Online payments are also available for your convenience. At this point, we want to know if you have any more questions about our projects for Federland. Kindly send them via the chat box and we'd be happy to answer them. We wish to invite you to visit our showrooms for a private viewing of our model units and discuss with your sales agents on your preferred projects. So that ends today's webinar. Thank you for spending your afternoon with us, and we look forward to meet you soon. Again, this is Queenie Raman. Please keep safe and enjoy the rest of your evening. So since there are no more questions, I would like to thank everyone for joining this webinar. Thank you so much, and we hope that we can hear from you soon. Thank you.
Cebu, the best island in the Pacific. Cebu Island proves to be a place that stayed in the hearts and minds of travelers from all over the world. International travel magazine Condé Nast has declared Cebu and the Visayas Island as the best islands in Asia, beating the likes of Sri Lanka or Koh Phangan in Thailand, even Palawan, Siargao, and Boracay in the Philippines. Cebu is one of the most visited places in the country. In 2019, the Philippine Tourism and Statistics showed that Cebu accounts to more than 20% in both domestic and international tourist arrivals in the country. This is even higher in the previous years. Cebu contributes to more than 50% of the 50 billion tourism industry in the region. Mactan Cebu International Airport, which is the second busiest airport in the country, caters to almost 600 international flights and 1,500 domestic flights every week. Cebu Island enjoys the prestige of being a top tourist hub in the country. Its 44 towns and 6 cities have so much to offer. Boal Town, for example, is a diving haven for the past 40 years. There's also the whale shark watching and paragliding in Uslob, canyoneering adventure in Alegria, scenic forests in Mantalungon, and the gushing walls of waterfalls in Kawasan in Badyan and Mantayupan in Barili. Up north, San Remigio has established itself to be a perfect beach getaway with its long stretch of shoreline. Further north is Mandayan Island, an oasis for beach bops. Malapascua Island, which is famous for its thresher sharks and abundant marine life, is also a fantastic dive destination, as well as Nalusuan off the southern coast in Mactan Island. But it was during the Suri-Suri Cebu tours around the province that countryside tourism spurred and gave birth to more investment opportunities. The last Suri-Suri Cebu held in January 2020 was the Northern Escapade. It was the biggest Suri-Suri group yet, with 600 participants in 6 bus loads. Shortly after, the horrible news of a novel coronavirus wreaking havoc across the world began. As government's response to the pandemic, lockdowns were implemented, travels were banned, businesses closed, farmers have no one to deliver their fresh produce, fishermen hung their nets and paddles, resorts could no longer pay their employees. Months went by, everyone suffered. But the officials of the Cebu provincial government, whose foresight is more encompassing than their fear of the pandemic, refused to be defeated. Last August, when restrictions were eased, Governor Gwendolyn Garcia was the first in the country to decide to slowly open up tourism and encourage local travels. Cebuanos got to know their own island again and experience the bliss and adventure Cebu offers. Governor Garcia signed executive orders that reopened the popular tourism activities. The EO also put in place the safety protocols and guidelines to be followed by every establishment who will be catering to people, anchoring on science and technology, alongside traditional methods and health regimen to boost the immune system. Cebu re-emerged as the new health and wellness destination. All guests are to be offered healthy welcome drinks such as calamansi juice and ginger turmeric tea. All establishments must sterilize their facilities, safety gears and equipment using ultraviolet germicidal light, which is scientifically recognized to neutralize viruses and bacteria. Frontline staff like receptionists, waiters, busboys, briefers and servers are required not just to wear face masks and face shields, but preferably air purifiers as well. The Cebu provincial government created a provincial tourism task force to monitor compliance of the agreed protocols, standards and guidelines. To control the movement of tourists. Booking of tour activities is done through the Cebu Provinces portal. Discover the cebu.gov.ph to regulate the numbers allowed for each activity. Since the relaunch of tourism activities in Oslob last July 31, more and more tourists are starting to head off to the countryside. Livelihoods are back. But this is not enough. In a bold and brave move, Governor Garcia was the first local chief executive in the country to junk the RT-PCR test and travel authority requirements for travelers coming to Cebu, and give way to a less hassle travel as she decided to open up Cebu to the rest of the country. A confirmation ruling from the national government through the IATF and the Department of Interior and Local Government parried all criticisms and attempts to prevent this from happening. Now, Cebu is ready to welcome its guests from other provinces and cities. Locals and guests from across the country can now take a break and de-stress from the horrors of the past year and soak in the beauty and serenity of the island. This premier province in the country and the best island in the Pacific will show to the rest of the country and the world that Cebu and the Cebuanos are now moving on and moving forward.